What if I told you you could come back from your injury fitter and better than ever? And what if I told you that your injury might even be a blessing in disguise that will help you set the foundation for something even greater? Guys, we all know injuries suck. If you've been there, you've been there. You'll spend days, weeks, or even months beside yourself. It's a very taxing part of your running career. But today I'm going to show you 4 things that will make you come back better than ever. Guarantee it. I'm strictly speaking from a running perspective. I'm strictly speaking from a middle distance running perspective, but could also be used in pretty much any other sport, especially aerobic sport, which leads us into thing number 1 you have to do is keep your aerobic fitness as high as possible. If you follow people who've been injury prone in the past on YouTube, some names that come to mind right away are The Athlete Special, his wife Ollie Ostrand, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, and the likes of Morgan McDonald. You'll see that cross training is extremely important. And the whole reason why they do that cross training is most of your running injuries are going to be running specific injuries, meaning it's going to hurt the most when you run. Maybe there'll be other ranges of motions that hurt, but running will be the main one that hurts the most. And finding to do something aerobically that you enjoy is so important. I know a lot of runners, some of them do aqua jogging, some of them swim, some go on the stationary bike, some bike on the road, but it's important, or even row, but it's important to find an exercise that you can do on a regular basis every single day. Because what I don't think most people understand is your heart is dumb. Your cardiovascular system can be worked on beyond running. Obviously, it's not as ideal as running, as you're not getting that running specific adaptations that will get you way better, but you'd be surprised how fit you can come back than before. I remember when I was, I think, 14, 15 years old, I had a personal best of 8:43 in the 3K, and I came back and after 2 weeks of training for running, I ran an 8:40, which was a 3-second personal best, and I was injured, I think, for 4 months. Now that's an outlier case. That's not gonna be the case every time. In fact, it hasn't. I've been injured lots of my career, and coming back, I don't run faster right away, but sometimes you do. And a big key part of that is you can actually get fitter aerobically. And all you have to do is make these little adjustments. For example, like for me, I hop on the elliptical for my cross training. I love it. I find it relates to running the most. I don't use my arms on the elliptical, so I run, it's like I'm running. And the impact on my legs is way less. So the adjustments that I make, and the adjustments that you make too, because running is so, it's hard on your body compared to other sports, is you just go longer. I typically do 30 to 45 minute easy runs when I do it, so I've adjusted my elliptical to 60 to 75 minutes. And for my high intensity interval sessions, I typically in base season, I'll do stuff like 8 times 3 minutes or 8 times 5 minutes, 6 times 4 minutes, and with a varying amount of rest, but they're pretty much all very similar workouts. And we want to make that adjustment on whatever machine we're using to keep aerobically fit. On the elliptical, it's harder to go extremely fast all at once. So what I typically do is increase the rep length and I decrease the rest. So a lot of times I'll do things like 4 times 10 minutes with 90 seconds rest, or a minute rest, or even 2 minutes rest. It's harder to go extremely fast for 3 minutes on the elliptical without totally breaking my form. So it's these little adjustments that you can make, and I'm confident when I start running again, I'm gonna pick off not right where I was when I left off, but pretty close. And my cardiovascular system will actually be more fit than it was before too. I just need to have to apply that to my running. The second thing you need to do, and in my opinion, it's one of the hardest to navigate, is physiotherapy. Now, if you're injured more than a week or 2 weeks, you have to be going to physiotherapy. You have to have someone isolate exactly what's wrong with you, and you need to do the exercises that they give you. The problem with these exercises, the number one problem that these physiotherapists have with athletes, is they overdo it. Instead of doing, in my case, I have plantar fasciitis. I haven't ran since June. They'll give someone like me, hey, listen, do like 10 calf raises times 3, because a lot of these exercises, they'll feel extremely tedious. If you have an Achilles tendon issue, if you have a knee issue, some of the exercises feel like you're barely working hard. And as aerobic athletes, as distance runners, we like to work hard. We like to grit our teeth. And that's just not the point of this physio exercises. The whole point is to stress the tissues just enough where you're reminding the muscle that it needs to heal. You're getting those little micro tears that your body's gonna heal over time, and you're building that strength in those weak tissue. The whole point of this physio is not only to get better, but to also not get injured in the same way again. And again, this is where the blessing in disguise happens, because when you're injured, there's something fundamentally wrong with your running form, the way you were doing things. Unless this is like a blunt force trauma injury, which I've had before, doing something really stupid. You want to take these weaknesses, you want to take what got you injured in the first place, and you want to turn it into a strength. You want to not get injured that way again, because if you change nothing, you will get injured in the same way again, or a similar kind of issue. And that's what we're trying to avoid. Thing number 3, strength training. It's super important to hit the gym while you're injured. You want to keep strong all around. And the good thing about being injured is you can hit the gym harder than before. If you're working out or running 10, 12 times a week, especially like that's the case if you're running more than once a day, like a lot of distance runners are. You can only hit the gym so hard before it affects you in your workouts and your everyday runs. When you're injured, you're not having as much fatigue doing your aerobic exercise, especially something less stressful like, elliptical, swimming, or biking. So if your injury allows for it, hit some heavier weights. Hit some higher reps. Make some adjustments to your training that you wouldn't do if you were training full time. For me, I've been hitting my upper body strength again. I recently just bench pressed 185, which isn't a lot, but it's a lot for me coming off the season. My personal best is 200 pounds, and that was set earlier this year in around January. But I'm taking this opportunity to strengthen the rest of my body, so when I come back, I can also just be extremely strong in general and have that against my competitors. Now, I should mention that I have my limitations in strength training right now. For example, I'm not allowed to lift anything heavy from the ground, meaning I'm not allowed to lift stuff heavy using my legs, which kind of sucks. But my coach's adaptation for me, for strength training is I'm increasing the amount of reps I'm doing. So for my squats and deadlifts, for example, I'm doing sets of 30, 15, 15, 15, which means 30 reps, 15 reps, 15 reps, 15 reps. And guys, I'm only lifting about 95 pounds doing this, and it feels so hard. The first few times I did this, my legs were shaking after, and I was out of commission the next 2 days in terms of doing another strength session, but I was able to hop on the elliptical fine. And the final thing that you should be doing while injured is doing the things that you wouldn't do while training, or you can only do less of while training. In my case, for example, I'm stretching 60 minutes a day, which means I'm holding stretches 60 minutes a day. I am extremely inflexible, and I feel like that's a huge limitation for my running. So I've attacked this head on while I've been injured, especially my hamstrings. I've been stretching those, I've been stretching my glutes, I've been stretching my calves, and then I test that flexibility with some strength work. I will increase my range of motion. And if you have an increased range of motion, you have a longer stride, you have a more powerful stride, and that makes you just go faster. But it doesn't have to be stretching. It could be breath work, it could be mental training. There's so many things that you can work on that you should work out with your coach, because they most likely know exactly what you need to work on. Guys, I know being injured is super tough. It's mentally taxing. You question your self-worth. You are bummed out that you're not working out with a team. You feel like you're missing out, not just on the social part of your life, but you feel like your purpose in life a lot of the time is shattered, in no better words. And sometimes when you come back and you feel like you're out of shape as well too, it's not a good feeling. I more than anyone understand the pressures on running from your family, from financial stress, from your coaches, from your friends, and just from your own psyche. So stick in there. Follow these 4 things, and if you follow these 4 things, you will be back better. You will have a foundation that will set yourself up for a wicked season next season. Another example I can think of is look at Jake Whiteman. Jake Whiteman had, I think, 2 very serious injuries these last, I think, 4 years, where he had months off at a time, and he just came second at World Championships in the 1500 meter by 2/100ths of a second. You can come back, you can be better, and just hold in there. Even Jake Whiteman was saying he was thinking of retiring. He has the same thoughts as you. So do me and do yourself a favor and stick in there. And tell me in the comments, is there anything else that I missed that you would do while injured? Is there any other minute detail that you would add, or your own personal experience? Please let me know down in the comments below, and also please like and subscribe to the channel. I would really appreciate it. And on that note, I'll see you guys next time.